Hey, I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a lot of credit card debt. A lot of credit card debt.
Okay.
Can I qualify to file for bankruptcy? That messed up.
Yeah, you can. You can. Don't be shy about it. Yeah, you can. Um, Most people when they have credit card debt or any kind of debt, they have a number of options. The first option they usually do is try to get a second job. Another option would be taking out a loan, a personal loan. Another option would be debt consolidation, where a third party company is hired to negotiate a lower price on the amount that you actually owe. And then you're put into this payment plan where every time you get paid, a certain amount of your paycheck goes to them. And then they will pay each of your creditors every pay period. So basically, you do that, it's not a bad thing, but if you do that, what happens is if there's an emergency, especially if you have children or you have a car, sometimes you have car problems, you're limited on the funds that you have left to take care of those things because every pay period they're taking that money out. So I wouldn't suggest that, but some people can do it and they're fine with it and it works, you know. The last option would be filing bankruptcy. A lot of people don't really know what bankruptcy is, they shy away from it, but the few that have inquired about it typically know more about the process because they've done their research. And anyone that comes to me about it, I'm just reiterating what's on the internet. I follow a lot of different bankruptcy lawyers, so I get a lot of my insight from them. In any case, the bankruptcy is the best route to go if you're in a lot of debt, especially credit card debt. You could do credit repair also, right? Not knocking credit repair. You can do that as well. You have to be patient and you have to be diligent. Every 30 to 45 days, you have to send another letter in if they don't drop those accounts that you're inquiring about or that you're disputing. So, yeah, you have a number of options.
Okay. I like that. I like that. A lot of information. So say that I have a friend that's not a citizen, not a U.S. citizen,
Okay.
been living here for about 10 years.
Okay,
Can my friend qualify to file bankruptcy?
absolutely. So, the bankruptcy is for anyone that is over 18 that, over 18. You don't have to be a U.S. citizen. You can be a legal immigrant as long as you have a social security number. You don't have to be a U.S. citizen, so you can have a green card as well. The next thing is you don't have to be working, and you could have been laid off for the last year. There's no criteria as far as that. So you can definitely file bankruptcy as a person that's not a U.S. citizen.
Okay, cool. Cool. Well, I'm not married, but I also have a friend that is. Can she file a bankruptcy?
She can file a bankruptcy. What happens is the bankruptcy process goes by your social security number. Okay. So you could be married and file bankruptcy without your spouse.
Okay.
Unless the spouse wants to file bankruptcy also because they have other credit issues, then they can do it together. Or if it's just the one person, that person can do it by themselves. It's based on your social security number. So if you're filing, we need your social security number. On top of that, if you're married but you're living together, the bankruptcy court, they need you to have the household income. So that means your income and his income. Anyone else is in the household. But if that spouse is not living in the same household as you, then you're married filing separate, like doing taxes. So you're married, but you're filing separately because he has a separate household and you have a separate household. And if you have children, then of course that plays a part in it as well.
Amazing. All right. Well, I don't have any children yet, but can I still file bankruptcy?
Yeah, yeah. As a matter of fact, the way that the bankruptcy goes is it's your income, your household income with the number of people in the household. So if you have dependents, it could be children, it could be a sister that you're taking care of, it could be your mom that lives with you, it could be your girlfriend that lives with you. It's household income against the number of people in the household. So, it's better if you have dependents or if you have children because it goes by, they give you a certain amount that you can make up to without going over and still be qualified to file bankruptcy, at least for Chapter 7. And by the way, Chapter 7 is when you request the government to waive all of your debts. And how do we do that? Is pulling up your credit report and everything that's on that report, among other things, payday loans, medical bills, things that you have done that you haven't made a co-payment on or you haven't made a payment on, those things can be included in order for you to qualify for the bankruptcy. So we're looking at all aspects of your household and your income. Yeah.
All right. That's everything right the way. I like that. I like the sound of that. Feels and sounds freeing. All right. What if someone is summoned or they're getting sued by a creditor? Can they file bankruptcy, and how does that look like?
So that's a very good question. I get those all the time. So, as you know, I'm not a lawyer. I am a legal document preparer, but I've worked as a paralegal for over 27 years. So I've seen every scenario. In a bankruptcy, if, for instance, well, let's just take bankruptcy out. Say, for instance, you received, like you said, your friend received a letter, a summons in the mail, someone suing her. So it could be one of the creditors that's suing her. So what happens is when you file bankruptcy, there's a layer of protection that you get when you file bankruptcy where your creditors cannot come after you. So say, for instance, so that lawsuit, most lawsuits, within 20 calendar days, you have to respond. If you don't respond, you're in default, which doesn't look good for you because now they're saying you're not taking responsibility for the debt, you didn't communicate with anyone, so we're now defaulting you, and whatever the plaintiff is requesting as far as damages, they're going to approve it, okay? So then there'll be a final judgment that you owe this amount. Okay. Before that 20 days is up, if someone filed a bankruptcy, that stops. The court date, the court hearing, anything regarding that particular lawsuit ceases. Same goes for if one of your creditors was able to get a judge to grant garnishment, which means your employer is going to get this letter stating that they have to now take out up to 25% of your paycheck every pay period to pay down this debt that you owe. When you file bankruptcy, that stops. They can no longer take that money out of your paycheck every pay period, okay? In some cases, in most cases, they're supposed to give you back the money they pulled out. But that's another situation. Also, a bankruptcy also stops a foreclosure sale. So say, for instance, you're trying to save your home and you're a few months behind, you can't get a modification, you can't get a loan, but you still want to keep the home and you're not finding any kind of relief, filing bankruptcy helps. But if you're facing a foreclosure, which let's just say a foreclosure sale was scheduled for next Friday, let's just say, right?
Right.
Or perhaps this Friday. Let's just make it even easier. A foreclosure sale at 10 o'clock Friday morning, your house is being sold. Okay? That means you have no other means to save that house, and the lender is going to sell that house at 10 o'clock on that Friday. Well, if you file bankruptcy even 9 o'clock on Friday morning, that sale stops. You get to still keep your home.
Wow.
At least keep your home for that time period as the bankruptcy is moving along, which takes several months. It gives you time to find other means to get the money to save the house, to at least pay down what you owe. Because the whole purpose of you going to foreclosure is because you owe money.
Of course.
Right? So if you could find someone to give you that money, or a program that will loan you the money or whatever, then you're good to go. If you decide you can't keep the house anymore, but you don't want to be in debt, right, of that mortgage, then you can then try to do a short sale, which means you're selling the house on your own, and whoever buys it for the amount that they buy it for, you pay off the lender. You may walk away with nothing, but at least the lender is paid off, and you got your bankruptcy, in process, and you no longer have a house debt to worry about.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that was valuable information.
Oh, I forgot to also add. Also, for evictions, some cases it will hold off an eviction. I've seen that, but every state is different. And then also the car repo. If you're 2-3 months behind and you were not able to make your car payment, most people, they don't want to give up the car because they need it, right, to get them back and forth to work.
Absolutely.
But they're behind, and sometimes the lender doesn't really want to work with them. So filing the bankruptcy helps that too. They can't come and get the car when you're in a bankruptcy. So during that 4, 5, 6 months you're in bankruptcy, you can still drive that car because they can't come and get it.
Wow.
Now, in the bankruptcy, you can decide whether or not you want to keep the car,
Of course.
and figure out a way to catch up on those payments, but you also have the option to walk away and give the car up. But when you do that, the good thing is when you do the bankruptcy and you give up the car, when that bankruptcy is discharged, there's no car on there. The car is on the petition, so that car is gone just like all your other debts. So you don't have to worry about, I filed bankruptcy and everything is good, but I still got this car. No, the car is included as long as you say you're surrendering the car.
Okay, you have to surrender the car.
Correct. So in both cases, in a house or the car or condo, you have the ability to either keep the asset and figure out a way how to keep it, while you're in bankruptcy, or you can let it go in the bankruptcy, and when you get your discharge, nothing's on your credit report. Everything is gone. Okay? That's why they say fresh start. It's like you're starting all over again, like when you were 18, 19 years old, and you got your first credit card. That's how it would be.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah.
So how can anybody reach out to you for more information?
Well, they can always reach out to me by phone. My number is 407-326-3302. And I do have a website. It's www.gbstoday.com. I'm also on all social media platforms at Gillespie Business Services. So, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I'm on all those platforms.
Okay.
All right. So I hope you got some good information you can take back to your friends and family.
Absolutely.
And anyone who's struggling right now, especially with the government shutdown, if they just want to call and just chit chat with me. Again, I'm not a lawyer, but I know enough. I've learned enough. I've done many of them, even my own. I've done a few myself in my lifetime. So I'm able to give experience and my opinion about certain things, but I would never give anyone legal advice. So that's my disclaimer. But feel free to give me a call, and 15 minutes we can chat, and then I can at least guide you in the right direction. I can give you my testimonial, my own personal testimonial, to give you some insight. I also do have a book, an ebook that you can also purchase. I'll put the link down somewhere below. It's my experience with me filing bankruptcy with a lawyer back in my 20s versus me doing a bankruptcy on my own decades later. The experience between both is different, but I believe each one should teach one. So when I meet people that are in financial mishaps and they mention that they're in financial struggles, it's my time to kind of shine, to kind of give some insight. There's a lot of platforms out there where you can file your bankruptcy with, like Upsolve and different companies, and I guess they're fine. But for me, I'm old school, so if anyone calls me, you want to do a bankruptcy preparation, I will do the preparation for you. And if you don't, you can go someone else or go to a lawyer. That's fine. But I think someone having been in the situation is better to help and guide you because they've been there, done that, versus they went to school for it, right? So, filing bankruptcy, lawyers are great and they do what they do. But if they've never filed a bankruptcy before, they don't know the emotional impact or how it makes you feel. Your nerves shooting through the roof. You don't know if you're making a good decision. I've been there, done that. So I can actually tell you from my experience what I've gone through. And I have a lot of people that have given me their testimonials along the years. And I think they felt more comfortable with someone who was transparent and honest and gave them the truth. If I think that I couldn't help you with the paperwork, then I refer you to a lawyer. If I think you shouldn't do a bankruptcy right now, and I'll tell you why, then I do that. If I feel like you have too much money in the bank account to want to file bankruptcy, I'm going to let you know that too. There's just certain criteria. So if we have a 15-minute conversation and I ask you certain questions and you, depending on how you respond, I can tell you whether or not you should or you shouldn't. Like, again, I did debt consolidation in my 20s. That didn't work out for me, which is why I had to do a bankruptcy. But in some cases, some people try it and it works. So do what makes you feel better, comfortable. Another thing people ask is, if I file bankruptcy, would anyone else know? And the answer is no. No one knows you filed bankruptcy other than the person that prepared it for you, and you, and whoever you told. If you didn't tell anybody, then they don't know. Okay? I think that's it. I think I covered a lot of questions that people typically ask. But again, if you want to reach out, my email is charlene@gbstoday.com. So if you want to also shoot me an email, you don't want to disclose who you are, shoot me an email and I'll respond back. Okay? So again, you can go with a legal document preparer. You can Google that. You can go on Craigslist and find them. They're all over. But I take pride in what I do. And my clients would tell you that they love working with me. So, that should tell you a little bit about me. Anyway, and I work in all states. Mostly, Florida and Georgia, because I lived in Georgia, I lived in Florida. So I'm familiar with that. I've done a couple of New Yorks and Michigan and, different states. But because I live here, I get most of my clients here. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this little chit chat that we did. And if you have any questions, reach out. All right. Take care. Bye.